Quite a while after the loss of Dr. Savannah, the little girls of Map Book, Hespera, and Calypso track down the messed-up staff of the Board of Wizards in plain view in an exhibition hall in Greece as a verifiable curio. They take it, Calypso utilizing mind control against the spectators and security to make them the battle one another, before Hespera utilizes her powers to go everybody to stone as they escape. In Philadelphia, Billy, in his Shazam structure, converses with a nearby specialist for counsel. He feels like he isn't contributing anything significant to the city, since he and his individual superheroes have gained notoriety for now and again aggravating circumstances instead of better. Additionally, he questions that he was ever deserving of being given powers in any case. The specialist is a pediatrician, not a specialist, but rather puts forth a valiant effort to give Shazam chamber before he leaves. At the Vasquez home, Billy's encouraged kin have all been jumping further into their singular advantages. Freddy is covertly paying attention to a police scanner and lets Billy know there is inconvenience at the Benjamin Franklin scaffold, yet proposes they try not to tell the others. Billy is unyielding that the kin remain together and calls the Shazamily to get ready. They show up to the extension in superhuman structure and find it falling. They are fruitful in saving everybody on it, however neglect to hold it back from being totally obliterated. The city has named the legends the Philadelphia Disasters for their unfortunate standing. Hespera and Calypso return to the domain of the divine beings, where they have detained the wizard that gave Billy Batson the powers of Shazam. The wizard is stunned to see the wrecked staff, since safeguarding a boundary between the domains and Earth was implied. Hespera blames the wizard for taking the powers of the divine beings for himself utilizing the staff, and she and Calypso compel him to fix it by approaching the name of the boss. The Shazamily return to the Stone of Time Everlasting, decked out as their hero sanctuary, and Billy assembles a conference to go over the course of the day's occasions. Individually, the kin pass on to finish individual tasks, leaving just Mary, who picked to not go to collection to continue to accomplish legend work. Billy is pained that the kin appear to be floating separated. However, Mary realizes what's truly irritating him. He will turn 18 soon, meaning he will progress in years out of the Encourage framework, and where it counts is concerned that Victor, Rosa, and the rest will leave him very much like his organic guardians when he does. She lets him know he is hanging on too firmly, and it is just driving them away. At school, Freddy is as yet being harassed, chiefly by the Breyer siblings. He meets and is immediately stricken with another young lady named Anne, who he endeavors to safeguard from the Breyers' advances. They beat him, yet she finds his dauntlessness charming, and remembers him as the youngster that was visited by Shazam at school a couple of years prior. In the Divine Being's domain, the wizard utilizes a splinter from the staff to make an impression on Billy, who gets it in a fantasy. The wizard is irate that Billy has broken the staff and wasted his power, and cautions him the girls of Chartbook are coming for himself as well as his kin. Billy awakens around midnight to see Freddy gone. Freddy goes through the night as his super-changed self-image, Chief Everypower, and goes to stop an equipped vehicle burglary. The following day, Anne tracks down him at school, and they have lunch together. They bond over both having bossy kin. However, Billy hinders and requests to converse with Freddy. He enlightens him regarding the wizard's cautioning, and makes him vow to come to a family meeting at the Stone after school. In the den, Mary, Pedro, Eugene, and Darla go to Billy's summons, yet Freddy doesn't appear. He enlightens them concerning his fantasy and updates them on the girls of Athena. Eugene makes an association and shows them a news report of the mayhem at the gallery. They are stunned to see the staff was there, and Billy concedes that he just left the pieces in the demolished carnival subsequent to utilizing it to give them powers. They have close to zero familiarity with the sisters, so Pedro shows them a mysterious library in the Stone of Endlessness, as well as an enchanted conscious pen named Steve. The pen knows it all, so they get some information about Mapbook's little girls. In the interim, Anne takes Freddy to the top of the school to hang out. Attempting to intrigue her, he offers to acquaint her with his companion, Chief Everypower. As he appears to pass on to call him, Skipper Everypower appears to an Anne. In the sanctuary, Steve shows the Shazamily to the data they need, including the powers of the sisters. They out of nowhere noticed that Chartbook had 3 little girls, not 2, Hespera, Calypso, and Anthea. Billy understands that Freddy's new companion is, as a matter of fact, one of the 3 sisters. Anne converses with Freddy's skipper every power, except appears to be for the most part worried about where Freddy is, saying she doesn't maintain that he should reach out. Out of nowhere, Hespera and Calypso show up and go after the hero. At the point when he endeavors to retaliate, Hespera destroys him with the wizard's staff, which takes his power and changes him back to his young self. Anthea is stunned, and Freddy understands that he can't change any longer. Billy flies in to help. However, Anthea utilizes her own powers to rework reality to keep him from drawing near. As the others show up on the scene, Hespera compromises Freddy's life on the off chance that they attempt and stop them. She tears the rooftop away with them on it and flies it away. However, Billy, incapable to hold on, gives pursuit. Before he can contact them, Hespera makes an invulnerable force field over the whole city, catching Shazam and the other kin inside as the sisters pull off Freddy. Freddy awakens in the jail of the God's domain, alongside the wizard. The wizard finds Freddy's perpetual inquiries aggravating and says she ought to never have provided the capacity to youngsters. Freddy concurs it was not the most brilliant move. At the Stone of Endlessness, the Shazamily attempt to figure out what to do. They choose to have a go at haggling with the girls and deal up their powers for Freddy, with the genuine arrangement being to attempt to catch one of the actual sisters and use them as influence, all things being equal. They get Steve to draft the letter to be sent. The little girls have Freddy and the wizard brought before them, and they question Freddy about different legends. They inquire as to whether they are only kids also, and request their names. Freddy will not coordinate, so Calypso has a go at utilizing her brain control to drive it out of him. He can oppose, however, in the long run, neglects one name, Billy Batson. Before Calypso can go further, the letter shows up and Hespera orders her to stop. The letter, though comprising for the most part the kin choosing what to have Steve compose, offers up their power in return for Freddy's opportunity. Calypso and Hespera are not able to trust the people and request Freddy and the wizard to be discarded against Anthea's contentions. Freddy and the wizard threw into a pit containing the winged serpent Laden, the gatekeeper of the nursery of Chartbook, who undertakings dread into his casualties prior to killing them. They are saved by Anthea, who carries them to a maze and give them bearings to get out and back to the human domain. Hespera goes to the meet Shazam, uncovering that she knows what his identity is. She says that the wizard took the powers of the divine beings from her dad, and they need them back. The kin attempt to hop her, yet Calypso utilizes the staff to take Pedro's powers. They battle, Hespera almost killing Mary and Darla to drive Billy to give up. However, he can overwhelm her, and they return her detainee to the Stone of Endlessness, utilizing their enchanted entryways. The Shazamily prepare to send one more letter to Calypso, yet Hespera avoids, taking an apple doll from the mysterious library and withdrawing through one of the huge number of wizardry entryways in the refuge. Freddy and the wizard follow the labyrinth bearings and find an entryway, stowing away as Hespera comes through it with the doll. The wizard remembers it at the apple containing a seed for the Tree of Life. The little girls contend how to utilize the apple, Hespera and Anthea believing it should recuperate their domain, yet Calypso is consumed by retaliation and needs to utilize it to rather annihilate the human domain. Freddy slips into the royal chamber and takes it back, however is found. The Shazamily completely finish the enchanted entryways and save Freddy and the wizard. However, Calypso takes the staff from Hespera and discharges Ladon to seek after them back to Earth. The kin, still in legend structure, return to the Vasquez home to clear Victor and Rosa. They uncover their personalities to their substitute guardians, and the winged serpent shows up not long after to obliterate the house. They retreat, traveling to a junkyard, yet Calypso, riding the monster, can take Eugene and Darla's powers. Mary attempts to move the apple away, yet Calypso destroys her powers away mid-flight, and Shazam is compelled to allow Calypso to take the apple while he saves her. Calypso flies to a baseball arena and plants the seed, and the Tree of Life springs to life, debased by being established beyond its domain. Its underlying foundations grab hold of Philadelphia, and legendary beasts start to emerge from it and assault the vulnerable populace. Anthea, appalled at what her sister has done, finds the family sitting above the massacre. She lets Freddy know that she truly cares deeply about him and goes to attempt to influence Hespera into bringing Calypso back into check. Billy, frantic and uncertain what to do, requests the wizard to reclaim the powers from Shazam and become the hero once more. The wizard expresses that the power no longer has a place with him. It has a place with Billy. He consoles him that he can figure out how to win, and Billy thinks of an arrangement. He requests the rest from the family to figure out how to move the beasts away from the arena so he can face the winged serpent. Before he goes, Rosa requests to see her child in his genuine structure. Billy changes and they embrace, Rosa letting him know that he won't ever progress in years out of his home or family. He becomes Shazam and takes off. Anthea attempts to get Hespera to see reason, since the tree could have remade the domain of the divine beings, however, rather is defiled, and can make demise in this domain. Hespera is likewise appalled by Calypso's lethal enthusiasm and orders her to remain down. Calypso lethally skewers her more established sister and utilizations the staff and her own powers to turn Anthea mortal so she can kick the bucket with the people. The family pass through the city attempting to stop the beasts, yet are horrendously dwarfed. Darla, having presented to Steve the pen from the stone, asks him what the beasts fear. Steve lets them know that they fear the ruler of monsters, unicorns. The wizard recounts to them that, dissimilar to the tales, unicorns are dim, awful animals that must be won with ambrosia. The kin and wizard pass on the van to track down them. However, Freddy spots Anthea meandering in the mayhem and follows her. Billy tracks down Calypso and Layden and battle them. However, Layden's fire harms his suit and drives him back. Shazam takes a stab at utilizing his lightning against her. However, it is enhanced by the force field and ingested into the staff. He withdraws as Ladon proceeds with his frenzy. The kin, drove by Darla, track down a gathering of unicorns and can acquire its faithfulness with Skittles treats. They ride the unicorns into the conflict and drive the beasts to the edges of the city. Shazam tracks down Hespera, scarcely alive, and inquires as to whether overburdening the staff with lightning could kill the winged serpent. Hespera says it would, however would likewise wreck all the other things inside the force field. He asks her some help. Layden and Calypso track down Anthea in a horde of regular citizens and attempt to kill her at the city people run. Freddy views as her and battles against the mythical serpent's apprehension abilities to get to Anthea. As they face their inescapable passing, Shazam shows up and can take the staff, drawing Calypso and the mythical beast back to the baseball arena. At the point when they show up, Hespera utilizes her ability to shrivel the force field so it encases just the actual arena. Calypso is incensed and attempts to break out. In the meantime, Billy tracks down Victor, Rosa, Anthea, and Freddy at the edge of the force field. He lets them know he is prepared to take the necessary steps to safeguard his family, and says his farewells. He goes into the arena to confront Calypso and Layden. Shazam tosses Lightning Bolt in the wake of Lightning Bolt at the force field, causing a thunderstorm that energizes the staff. He can hold off the winged serpent, lastly flies straightforwardly through the fire as the staff overflows with energy. He yells the expression of the boss, and the lightning bolt overburdens the staff, causing a monstrous blast that kills Calypso and Layden. It likewise breaks down the tree, which obliterates every one of the beasts. Minutes after the fact, Hespera passes on from her injuries, finishing the force field. The family look for Billy, Freddy tracking down his teen structure in the vestiges, dead. Freddy is crushed at the deficiency of his closest companion, and the family grieve. Anthea says that Billy was a genuine god and legend toward the end. The wizard requests him to be let go as one, and they return his body to the domain of the divine beings. After his internment, Darla inquires as to whether enchantment will at any point get back to the world. However, the wizard says that the staff is weak, and just a divine being can re-establish it. Right now, Diana of Themyscira shows up. The little girl of Zeus, she can control up the staff and re-establish the god's domain, resurrecting Billy and giving him his Shazam powers. Shazam clumsily asks Miracle Lady out on the town, yet she advises him to adhere to world saving. Billy is brought together with his family and utilizations the staff to re-establish their powers in general. Sometime later, the family are remaking their home and getting a charge out of supper as a family. Anthea stays in the human domain to accompany Freddy, and the wizard shows up, having had a makeover, to take the staff for supervision and express farewell before he partakes in his new opportunity. Before he goes, Billy asks him what his superhuman name should be, having never sorted one out. The wizard lets him know that it is Shazam. However, Freddy figures they can view as a superior one. In a most extreme security jail, Dr. Thaddeus Savannah is moved toward by the conscious caterpillar, Mr. Brain, whom he hasn't seen since their most memorable gathering quite a while back. Savannah is eager for the animal to set his arrangement into movement. However, Mr. Psyche says he has something final he really wants to deal with.